You may have just answered the question I have, but
How synchronous?
I'm not sure. I
All
think
right.
I missed something.
Oh, all right.
When I studied Vedic philosophy,
Yes.
what they taught was that we have an eternal spirit that they call the Atman,
All right.
and that this is this is the part of us that is eternal and enduring, and that this is what goes through lifetimes.
Yes, that's one way to look at it from a
with
linear perspective.
But that our soul,
Yes.
if I understood you correctly, it seems that what you said was that it's our soul that creates our high mind, whereas that belief is that the high mind is always there, uncreated.
Depends upon what you call the higher mind. I'm calling something the higher mind specifically as the non-physical portion of the person that you are. Of course you have higher and higher and higher forms of consciousness as well, but I'm not referring to those. I was being specific to the guide as it is leading the physical mind in its specific incarnational experience. So this is all just semantics in many ways. And again, remember, even what we're talking about is just euphemisms and semantics. It's all permission slips. Whether you want to see it linearly, whether you want to say this is this higher mind, or that's that higher portion of my being, or this is what's eternal, or that's what's eternal, you're just calling out different aspects of one thing anyway. So it doesn't really matter how you wish to look at it. Look at it from whatever perspective works for you.
Okay.
That's the real bottom line, the real point of all of this. If what we are saying works for you, use it. If it doesn't, don't. You will attract yourself to whatever permission slip is geared to your imagination, geared to your frequency. Yes?
Yes. So again,
Yes.
trying to clarify the concept of linear versus nonlinear existence.
Yes.
Where does causality come in? What about karma? If everything exists
Yes.
now, then where is the opportunity to...
The opportunity for what you call karma is in the connections that you make in any life that you believe need to be made to create an experience of balancing. But one thing doesn't come before the other. One doesn't cause the other. You can arrange these things in any way you want to create any kind of sensation of causality, any kind of sensation of karma or balance. It's all just an experience of arrangement. It's just an orchestration. It's just an idea. It's just an experience. Look at it as a film strip, because you have that technology on your planet. There are different frames on a strip of film, yes?
Right.
Well, you play them in a certain order to create a sense of continuity, to create an experience of going from the past to the future, through the present. But really, if you're the projectionist, you can look at any frame in any order you want. You could rearrange that movie. You could edit it in any order you want. You could make a whole different story out of it by rearranging those frames. It's all, in that sense, arbitrary, but it's all relevant for whatever story you need to live, whatever experience you need to have. So you create the idea of karma by making connections, by rearranging the frames in a certain way, because now you want to explore the concept of balancing out your karma. But you're the author of the karma. Yes?
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. That's really helpful.
Oh, all right.
There's been so much talk recently with some of the TV shows that are coming out and so forth about the creation of the human race.
Yes.
And with ancient aliens and so forth.
Yes, yes.
I have a sense that they are really oversimplifying this.
Sometimes they are also over-exaggerating it.
Well, that too. But one of the theories that is interesting that might make sense is that there was some point in our development when, they talked years ago, more than they seem to talk now, about the strands of DNA that were, the word they used was unplugged.
Yes.
That there are 12 that we're supposed to have, 2 that
No, you are never supposed to have 12 in physical reality. That is a physical impossibility. You can have as many as 3. The others would be on higher energetic planes, and you can tap into them and download energy and information from them. But if you had 12 in your physical reality, you would not be human at all.
Okay. Well, whatever they were talking about, the idea was that at some point they were interfered with, unplugged.
They were altered, yes.
Downgraded.
The naturally evolved hominid being on your planet was altered genetically, and the form you now understand as Homo sapien was created, which resonates to the idea of soul incarnation, speaking linearly, in a different way. But the original hominid form also evolved because not every single member of the original naturally evolving hominid species was altered. So you have evolved in parallel to the original form on your planet. The original form that was not altered evolved into what you call Sasquatch.
Yeah, you mentioned that last night.
So the idea is that your original form still exists on the planet and has evolved to a point where it can actually come and go interdimensionally, which is why it's difficult to find. It can literally walk through gateways, walk through doorways to other dimensions, slip in and out of your reality as a natural, instinctive thing. But part of your society was developed in that way with the addition of other forms of genetic material to create what you now recognize yourselves to be as humans. So you are all, in that sense, somewhat hybridized already.
Okay, so just to clarify,
yes.
It seems that there was not a point where we were much more evolved than we are now, interfered with by, they call them or sometimes they say it was the Anunnaki who did this to make
that is one of the references, yes.
Stupid enough or whatever to just do their gold mining and so forth.
No.
That they talk about this.
No. There is a
Okay.
misunderstanding here. Information was withheld, but the potentiality is always there. The switch sometimes was suppressed, but it had to be there to allow you to function. So it's just a matter of the idea of some of them didn't necessarily want your switch to turn on, but those that saw that this was out of integrity took them away and allowed you to evolve to the point where you got to the place you could turn your switches on. Yes?
Okay. And how does that connect to the extra strand of DNA you mentioned a moment ago?
As you evolve more and more and allow yourself to raise your frequency, your body will contain more and more silicon from generation to generation until such time as that introduction of that element to that degree will cause the DNA strands to restructure themselves around a trinary framework, thus making you better receivers for higher frequency energies, better antennae.
Okay, great.
If you say so.
All right, one last question.
Yes.
I don't know why. I have a feeling you might not want to answer this, but I've wanted to know for a long time. I thought
it is not about whether we want to or not. It is about whether we are given the information because it may or may not be appropriate for your process at this time. Whatever is not appropriate for us to say, we will not have access to.
Okay, well, that's what I meant more or less.
Oh, all right.
What about the reports that have been surfacing quite a lot in the last couple of years from people who seem quite sane about really weird...
That's a relative term on your planet.
I know. But really weird and frightening and really terrible noises and voices. Sometimes it's voices, sometimes it's just awful noises.
Yes.
Emanating from apparently within the earth.
Yes.
What is going on?
As you are shifting your frequencies, Earth is shifting with you, and the alignment of it to different parallel realities will sometimes be slightly out of phase, resulting in certain kinds of harmonic or disharmonic noises to occur in the electromagnetic field of your Earth. You're actually hearing the shifting going on from parallel reality to parallel reality. You understand?
Some of them must be pretty bad.
Of course, but the idea is that it's always a reflection of whatever it is the individual perceiving those experiences is focusing on at the moment, and is also just an opportunity to reveal what vibrations are not compatible with the shift to bring them to your attention so you can integrate them. It's not that those realities are bad, it's that the shift to a higher frequency will always draw forth from you those things that are not compatible with that shift so you can deal with them and integrate them. That's why we don't have open contact with you now. Our vibration, operating on the frequency that it does, would overwhelm your vibration and pull to the surface the things you've pressed down that you don't want to look at. It would force you to integrate them and bring psychotic shock along with it. So we take our time and allow you to discover those things in bits and pieces at a rate you're comfortable integrating them. But anytime you act on your excitement, one of the things that excitement does as a complete toolkit is bring to your attention, bring to the surface things that are not compatible with the vibration of your excitement so that you can transform them and create more excitement. So that's just another way of reflecting that.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Does that help you?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm holding you to your word.
Hi, Bashar.
Andrew, good day.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
It is an honor for us as well to interact with any and all of you.
My question has to do with consciousness and all the way my understanding of expressions in our three-dimensional reality is that
Your fourth dimensional reality.
Our fourth dimension.
Different than fourth density. You have a fourth dimensional reality, 3 of space, 1 of time.
Yes.
Thank you.
My understanding is that all expressions are a form of consciousness.
There is nothing but consciousness. Everything is made out of consciousness.
And is it all, are we, like, in my own expression,
yes,
I'm here by choice.
Of course.
And therefore, is there choice behind all expressions? Like, say,
sometimes it may be unconscious choice, but yes.
A molecule of water is there by choice as well as...
That's a different kind of level of choice. Yes, it is there by choice, but not necessarily as an individual water molecule. It doesn't possess the idea of individuality in the way you do. It doesn't experience it in the way you do. It is still there by choice, but it might be the choice of a greater being of which that water molecule is a part.
I see. And then also, there are expressions that are there because of our group.
Yes. There are group agreements and individual agreements within the group. And there are groups within groups.
Okay. The last time I spoke with you, about a time when I was in a coma.
Yes.
And you informed me of that, or you had said to me that it was shown to me in no uncertain terms of my true value as a being.
Yes.
And that I had made the choice to come back.
Yes.
Along with that, I'm here with a really close friend of mine.
Oh, all right.
And although I don't have a conscious memory
yes,
of knowing her from other lives or other parallel lives.
Yes, well,
I feel
you didn't. You may be connecting to other lives that are going on simultaneously that are connected to each of you in that way, but you as a personality didn't experience that life. That's another person.
Right.
Make sense?
And a parallel life.
Yes.
Yes.
And that person is their own person. But you may be making a cross connection that allows you to experience the idea of continuity as if it has happened to you.
I see.
Make sense?
Yes. Can you tell me how many times we have chosen to do this?
How many other parallel lives you are
Yes.
cross-connecting to right now from this one?
Yes.
Now, you do understand that before we answer you, that number can change from life to life, yes?
Yes.
Because you make the connections you need to make in each life. And you may make 5 connections in one life, and you may make 25 in another, and you may make 250 in another. You understand?
Okay.
Right now, as we perceive your vibration, you and this other person you are referring to cross-connect and overlap in any way that's relevant and important about 37 times.
Wow. And along with the choice in that,
Yes.
on a soul or spirit level,
Yes.
why is it that we choose to do that so many times? It's just
Because you work so well together. You know how to reflect to each other. You're part of a soul family.
Of course.
Your familiarity helps you.
Yeah, and also what I believe is that it's just for the sake of whatever experience we create in the moment.
Yes. Remember, all relationships of any type are fundamentally for the primary purpose of reflecting to everyone in the relationship what they need to know about themselves to become more aware of who they really are. Yes, that's the point of relationship.
Yes.
You all act as mirrors for each other to discover what you need to know about yourself so that you can integrate more of yourself and expand your awareness of who and what you are. Yes? In relation to all that is, which is also you.
Yeah, it's constant self-discovery.
Yes. Does that help?
Very much so. Thank you.
Yes.
One other question about the time that I was in a coma, and you said that it was shown to me.
Yes.
Can I ask who was there a specific group of beings or being that showed that
there were actually a few.
Had an interaction with?
There were actually a few. They took turns.
And who were
that
they?
information is not available